General Hospital will reveal an unexpected death and the unfortunate victim leaving during the week of February 10, 2025. Victim 1, Josslyn's anxiety steadily grows as she realizes her mistake could lead to more serious consequences than she ever imagined. Sneaking into Cyrus's room may have started as a reckless act, but now, even the smallest details could become evidence that exposes her. The disrupted petals in Cyrus's Bible, something that seemed harmless, is now an unmistakable clue for a shrewd person like him. It doesn't take long for Cyrus to realize someone has entered his private space, and he immediately starts asking, "Who did this?" Cyrus quickly reaches out to the hospital staff, using his connections and underground influence to gather information. It doesn't take long for him to discover that a young woman with blonde hair had been near his room at the time. Based on the description, Cyrus easily narrows it down to Josslyn, and he begins to devise a plan to deal with her. As a patient man, he doesn't rush to take action right away. Instead, he observes and waits for the right moment to strike. Meanwhile, Josslyn begins to feel more and more uneasy. She may not see Cyrus directly confronting her, but her intuition tells her he's watching her. Everywhere she goes, she feels like someone is keeping an eye on her, as if every action she makes is being controlled. The tension makes it hard for her to focus, even when she tries to act normal in front of her loved ones. Her intuition is right, Cyrus is not the type to let any insult slide. He had endured before and let things settle, but this time, he seems determined to not let it go. Anna, who has been watching Josslyn from afar, can't help but notice the instability in the young woman. Previously, Anna had warned Josslyn not to get involved in the police investigation, as it could not only jeopardize their plan but also put herself in danger. However, Anna also understands that Josslyn is the type of person who can't sit idly by and watch injustice unfold. This makes her both a valuable ally and a dangerous target. On one hand, she can help bring dangerous people like Cyrus to justice, but on the other hand, she's an easy target for those who don't mind using underhanded tactics. It's not just Anna who is worried, Jack Brennan also starts paying attention to Josslyn. Jack knows she has great potential, but he also understands that if she doesn't learn to control her emotions and actions, she'll make herself an easy prey. Jack has been through similar situations and knows that if Josslyn isn't careful, she might get caught in a battle she can't win. He tries to give her guidance, but will Josslyn have the composure to listen? The situation worsens when Cyrus begins to take action. Not confronting Josslyn directly, he opts for a more subtle strategy, filing an official complaint with the police, accusing her of stalking and harassment. While this may not be enough to get Josslyn arrested immediately, it creates enough pressure to make her wary. More importantly, it draws the attention of those involved in the investigation to Josslyn, making her the unwanted center of attention. Josslyn didn't expect Cyrus to make this move. She understands that he's not just trying to get her into legal trouble, he's testing her patience and resolve. If she reacts impulsively, she'll fall into his trap. But if she backs down, it means accepting that Cyrus can continue his reign unchecked. Josslyn realizes she's in a tough spot. Meanwhile, Anna and Jack begin planning to protect Josslyn from Cyrus's attacks. Anna knows she needs to do something before Josslyn acts on impulse and makes things worse. Jack, with his experience, also understands that this is a crucial moment. Josslyn needs guidance to avoid making further mistakes. However, both of them know that only Josslyn can ultimately decide her fate. Will Josslyn be smart enough to escape the trap Cyrus has set? Or will she continue to rush into danger, confronting someone even experienced people like Anna are wary of? The days ahead will be the biggest challenge of Josslyn's life, and any mistake could lead to irreversible consequences. Victim 2, Elizabeth feels the growing tension as she realizes she has made a serious mistake. An accidental eavesdropped conversation, a moment of carelessness revealing important information, and now, she's in Cyrus's crosshairs. As a devoted and experienced nurse, Liz has faced many dangerous situations before, but this time, she knows she's up against a man who can manipulate and destroy anyone who dares to stand in his way. For a long time, Liz has suspected that Cyrus hasn't changed as he always claims. She believes that behind the facade of a devout man lies a schemer, ready to continue his dark plots without hesitation. Although Anna and the police are still gathering evidence to arrest him once and for all, Liz knows they need more than baseless accusations. She decides to find the evidence herself, a bold but extremely dangerous decision. At first, her plan goes smoothly. Liz quietly watches Cyrus's activities, noting every detail, from the people who visit him to the shady phone calls he makes. But then, just one moment of carelessness ruins everything. She doesn't realize that Cyrus heard her mention his name in a private conversation. A seemingly harmless remark is enough for him to piece everything together. He immediately understands that Liz isn't just a nurse looking after a patient, she's trying to uncover his secrets. Cyrus doesn't react with anger immediately. Instead, he remains silent, smiling calmly as if nothing has happened. But inside, he begins to plot his next move. He doesn't need to act quickly, just sowing fear and doubt is enough to make Liz drop her guard. And that begins as soon as she notices the strange signs. First, there are anonymous messages on her phone. At first, they are vague, unclear questions: do you think you know everything? Or, be careful with what you're doing. But as time goes on, the messages become more threatening, warning her to stop or face serious consequences. The feeling of being watched becomes more and more apparent, shadows passing by as she works the night shift, a strange car appearing near her house too many times to be a coincidence. Liz can't ignore these signs any longer. She knows she needs to talk to someone, but the problem is, who can she trust? Josslyn is preoccupied with Dex's death, caught up in anger and a desire for revenge. Anna had warned her before that Cyrus isn't someone she can confront easily. But Liz can't just stand by while she knows Cyrus is still a threat lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. What Liz doesn't realize is that Cyrus is already a step ahead of her. He's not just threatening her in the shadows, he's beginning to destroy her reputation subtly. A patient suddenly complains that Liz made a mistake in treatment. An internal report is altered to make it seem like she violated serious medical guidelines. These seem like small incidents on their own, but together, they create a dangerous picture, an unreliable nurse who could be fired at any time. Liz begins to understand that this is no longer just a game of cat and mouse. Cyrus is using every resource at his disposal to isolate her, tarnish her reputation, and if she's not careful, she might be pushed out of the hospital, the one place where she has access to information about him. If that happens, she'll not only lose her chance to gather evidence but may also become his next target. She needs to make a quick decision. Continue the investigation and risk being exposed completely? Or find a way to back down before Cyrus decides that threats and manipulation aren't enough, and he needs something more decisive? In the shadows, Cyrus is still watching, waiting for Liz's next move. And she knows time is running out. Willow's defining choice. Willow stands before a decision that isn't easy, a new crossroads in her life where, no matter what choice she makes, she will face consequences that are difficult to predict. As she sits in front of Martin, she knows this meeting isn't just a legal discussion, it's confirmation of something she's been struggling with for a long time. Is she truly ready to leave her marriage? Martin, with his experience as a lawyer, isn't easily swayed by fleeting words. He watches Willow with a scrutinizing gaze, trying to determine whether she's truly firm in her decision to divorce or just caught up in fleeting emotions. Willow knows that Martin won't proceed with any paperwork if he senses she's still uncertain. And that uncertainty is clearer than ever. Willow has been through so many trials in her life, from the death of her parents, life and death battles with illness, to the mental wounds caused by the truth of her origins being exposed. But perhaps, the decision to divorce Michael is the hardest one she's ever faced. She loves him, but that love isn't the same as it once was. The hurt, the secrets, the times they've been on opposite sides have shown her that sometimes love isn't enough to keep a relationship together. Michael is enduring severe physical pain after the accident that left him badly burned. He doesn't just need medical care, he needs emotional support to recover. Can she leave him now without feeling like a cruel person? That's the question that haunts Willow. She doesn't want to seem heartless in front of her family, friends, or even her conscience. But she can't deny that she no longer feels happiness being with him. When Martin asks her again if she's sure about this decision, Willow feels her confusion rise. Does she really want a divorce? Or is she just looking for an escape from a marriage that has become suffocating? Carly is the first to express doubt about her decision. Although Willow and Carly have had deep conflicts in the past, right now Carly doesn't want Willow to rush into ending her marriage with Michael. Carly understands her son better than anyone and knows that if she loses Willow now, Michael may never fully recover, both physically and emotionally. She fears that this isn't just a decision about personal happiness, it could be a devastating blow to Michael at his weakest point. Meanwhile, Nina, Willow's birth mother, has a different perspective. After all the mistakes in the past, Nina just wants her daughter to be happy, even if that means making a heartbreaking decision. But does Nina truly understand Willow, or is she using her emotions to manipulate her for her own benefit? Willow isn't sure. Meanwhile, Michael himself is starting to feel the growing distance between him and Willow. She's still by his side, still fulfilling her duties as a wife, but her gaze is no longer the same. The warmth, the love, all of that seems to have faded. Michael isn't blind. He knows that if Willow truly wants a divorce, he can't stop her. But what he fears most isn't losing his wife, it's losing the mother of his children, the family he's fought to build. Willow knows time is running out. She can't keep standing at this crossroads forever without making a decision. But any choice she makes will leave scars, on her, on Michael, and on those around her. The biggest question remains, which path will she choose? The unbeatable alliance of Carly and Nina. Carly never imagined there would come a day when she would consider an alliance with Nina, the woman who destroyed her life, took control of her hotel, and pushed her family into countless problems. But right now, the situation has changed. Their personal conflicts may still run deep, but one thing is undeniable, they both share one concern, protecting their family, especially the children. And that has forced Carly to reconsider whether she should set aside her pride and cooperate with Nina. Willow, whom both of them love in different ways, is being dragged into a dangerous situation, and the cause is none other than Drew. Carly has never completely lost trust in Drew, but she can't ignore the fact that he's putting Willow in a precarious position. Drew may believe he's helping Willow, that